Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Underdog Prep Series, episode 5. Oh my god, and I actually just realised I'm actually wearing the same hoodie that I wore in my first ever YouTube video, so it's just a little bit mad, but I do live in this Honor Active hoodie. I don't know if you can see that, but it's Honor Active, the brand from Chrissy Cella. I am recording this intro for probably the 4th or 5th time. I recorded this a few times yesterday and I was just not happy with what I was saying. It was just true prep brain that was coming out. So I am now recording this, which is today is Sunday, the day this episode actually goes live. So it's actually kind of nice as well because I can actually kind of say what's in this video because I have recorded it all yesterday. As you will see from the title of this video, I am showcasing what I eat on a high day. So I want to kind of give a brief introduction about, like, I suppose, or an explanation about what actually a high day is. So basically I am 6 weeks out from my first competition of this year and I'm nervous and I'm excited and I'm actually just in shock. I can't believe my prep has been going so fast. Basically just to kind of explain a high day, as these are quite common when it comes to contest prep or else photo shoot prep as well. So it's not something I would necessarily recommend if you're in like a sustainable fat loss journey and you're not working towards a very specific goal like a photo shoot or a bodybuilding competition. However, high days can be quite valuable when it comes to bodybuilding and photo shoot prep as well. So basically just kind of explain a high day. So obviously because of the high amount of cardio that I'm on, the low amount of food that I'm eating, my body is obviously in a lot of stress in a way. That's the way to kind of describe it. My body is obviously not reacting too much as well because it's obviously not getting the energy it needs to fuel itself for the amount of cardio and training that I'm doing, which again, this is what I have to do to compete. So it is an actual given obviously, but basically earlier on this week I experienced what can only be described as a plateau, where essentially like my body weight wasn't shifting. I was seeing a massive decrease in terms of my energy. Now of course over the last few weeks we've seen dips in my energy, as you probably have seen in previous videos. You will see, if you actually watch my videos kind of like one after another, you will see my energy just deteriorating, and that is to be expected. I'm very much well aware of that. But I suppose this week was probably the tiredest I had been and there was just no shift in progress. I was holding a lot of water weight. So in order for that to kind of budge, we needed to kind of give my body what it needs, and that is food. So as I kind of mentioned, there was my cardio earlier on this week was brought up. My food, there was a slight change in macronutrient variables, but my body was just not reacting to it as best as we would have hoped to. So in order for my body to kind of, I suppose, like push forward and kind of have a bit of a weight drop, we had to give myself some high days. So when the news came to me from my coach on Friday or on Thursday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, that I was getting high days, I felt quite guilty. I felt I didn't deserve them, but I obviously need to give my body what it needs, and I obviously trusted my coach as well. So if you are someone that's in a photo shoot prep or you are competing yourself and you are given high days, just know that like you're giving them, you know, they're not just to keep you happy. You know, I think people might interpret being like, oh my god, like you must be doing so well, here's a gold star. Like a high day isn't just by no means a gold star, and it doesn't mean that you're naturally going to feel so much better because of it. You're just giving your body what it needs. It's obviously not enough. Ideally I would need like about a few weeks of high days to catch up with the last few weeks, but here we are. So I had a high day on Friday and a high day yesterday, Saturday, and today as I'm recording this video, it's Sunday. So Friday I trained upper body, had my high day, and then yesterday I had my second high day as well. So in today's video it is all yesterday you will see. So you'll see me yesterday, you will see some training clips from yesterday as well, and actually a few training clips from Friday as well. But to be honest, just even reflecting on my high day as well, again, as I just said a few moments ago, like I don't feel utterly amazing today. We did see no weight drop this morning. Did see weight drop from Friday to Saturday, which was amazing, but no shift in weight today. But my biggest issue is actually my digestion. I had an 10-hour sleep last night. I'm probably gonna have another 10-hour sleep tonight as well. Sleep has been the massive key focus, I think, for the next few days, just to make sure I monitor that as well. But digestion has been the massive issue as well, and I'll talk about my digestion later on in this video as well. That is pretty much it. I'm gonna go straight into this video, but I just kind of wanted to explain the whole reason why I have these high days. As I said, it was a plateau. I keep repeating myself, but I just want to make sure I get my point straight. That plateaus are something that do tend to happen quite, you know, frequently when it comes to contest prep or photo shoot prep as well, because you are putting your body under a lot of physical and emotional and mental stress as well. So when it comes to the sustainable fat loss journey, you most likely don't need a high day. You know, like again, every client, I suppose, like when I coach my clients, if we do it at plateau weight, we might just do some sort of diet break or bring their cows back up to maintenance or something like that. But again, everybody's different. But I just want to explain that, just because if you are currently experiencing a plateau and you're not doing a very strict goal, you might not need a high day as well. But this just kind of obviously explain what I do as a competitor on a high day. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this video and get stuck into all the food. So guys, meal number 2 / pre-workout is cream of rice. So I think I've talked about cream of rice before on my YouTube. So this is something I've added in the month of July as a pre-workout option, and it has worked really well for me. Just before I go into a little bit more about the cream of rice, right? When it comes to pre-workout, or when it comes to any meal in general, please don't have something just because I'm having it. Just because I'm showcasing cream of rice as my pre-workout does not mean you need to have it as well. It's like when I show any of my meals today, just because these are the foods that I'm eating on a high day doesn't mean you have to eat them on a high day as well. Every single body's body is completely different. Like, this is why I don't really share like full days of eating and my exact macros and stuff, because they can get misinterpreted to be like, oh, that's what I need to eat in order to get Jess's results. You could eat cream of rice and it may not agree with you, so why would you have it? So when it comes to when I'm sharing all these meals today, or when I'm ever sharing food on Instagram or here on YouTube, please take this as a pinch of salt. It is literally for inspiration. You may try cream of rice, you may absolutely despise it, so you know, or may not agree with you. It's like with any other food as well. Again, don't have beef just because I'm having beef. It's everything is down to the individual in terms of what works well with you, what do you actually personally enjoy in terms of taste preferences, what fuels you better, what digests well for you better. For me in particular, cream of rice is doing that as well. So here is the cream of rice. It is a double portion of what I would normally have on a training day. I think my current training days I'm having like maybe, because again my food is obviously quite in low calories a normal day, it's around like 30-40 grams, whereas this is 80 grams of cream of rice, and also raspberries as well. I have put this into the freezer just to kind of make it a little bit more solid. I would say if you have a microwave, you're probably better off using a microwave when it comes to this to actually add a bit more volume to it. I don't have a microwave in my apartment. I know, don't talk to me about it, but I would recommend using a microwave when making cream of rice just for a better consistency. But like, again, like this is absolutely just a job for me. I just mix the cream of rice powder in with water, whisk it just to get the consistency that I personally enjoy, and then that's kind of really it. And then, as I said, I added in some raspberries there as well. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain that whole foods being more superior than other tea as well, just because again I get a lot of questions about like what's the best pre-workout or what's the best, you know, protein source I should be having, and I'm like, it is all down to the individual. There's no like, again, one food better than the other. It all depends on the nutrients that are in them as well. But from an athlete point of view, cream of rice, it does work out pretty well. So yeah, I'm gonna tuck into this now and get ready to go train legs. So guys, I'm just home, about to tuck into my post-workout meal. As I'm actually sitting here, I can smell garlic bread. What are the chances that I'm smelling garlic bread? Bloody love garlic bread. That was actually the one thing that I've been craving the last, like, I think it was like about 2 weeks ago. I could just crave garlic bread. It's amazing the weird things that you crave on prep. But anyway, I'm just going to turn my camera around and show you guys what I'm having for post-workout. This post-workout meal, I've had every single post-workout for probably the last year, so this does not change. The only thing that changes is probably the quantity of it. Obviously, depending if my macros get dropped, I kind of reduce the ingredients that are in it, but essentially these components have not changed over the last while. So let me just flip you around and show you. So as you guys know, I am in love with oats. I only started eating oats, I think probably in the last year, I think, or the year before, and I don't know where I've been without them. So basically, this is 3 simple ingredients: oats, protein whey, and raspberries. That's it. So you've your carbs and your protein, and ideally you don't want to have too much fats in a post-workout. You really just want, obviously, carbs to again replenish your glycogen stores after training intensely, and also obviously protein from a muscle tissue development point of view. So it is obviously no shock to you at all, the Perform whey has been added to this. As you guys know from, and you've seen from previous videos, this is the way that I use, and I'm absolutely in love with it. So again, I don't get paid or anything like that. I'm not unfortunately associated with them, but again, you'll know from previous videos that I just love this particular brand. So yeah, I have a scoop. I've about 30 grams of this in here as well. It is a massive bowl, I will say that. But again, I just like to save as much carbs as I can in general for this. So basically, on my current training day, I have this exact meal as I said before, but I probably would have a little bit of a smaller quantity, just obviously because let's say when I'm not on a high day, my carbs are a little bit lower as well. But this is still a little bit warm, so I'm just gonna tuck into this. I actually just cannot wait. Well, oats was something I never really ate before. I'd say I only started eating last year, but it is like the best thing ever as well. So this is just a big fat bowl. I cannot wait. So I'm gonna tuck into this and take some rest, and then I'm going to chat to you when I'm actually meal prepping next. So guys, I thought I'd just actually show you my meal prep. So I'm after making tonight's dinner and also 5 other portions as well. So I buy all of my meat and my veg just in big massive chunks so that I can meal prep like this as well. So some of these portions will go in the fridge, some will go in the freezer just to keep them fresh. But basically this is like tonight and the next 5 nights of dinner sorted. Like, and it took the same amount of time if I was to make just 1 portion. So this is why meal prep is so easy from a macro tracker point of view, but also time and stress saving as well, because these I know for the next, you know, tomorrow night, Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So until Thursday night, I have all my dinner sorted. I'll just need to make my potatoes fresh as well. So at the moment, I don't have any seasoning on this yet, but I will be putting some on now. So usually my seasoning changes each night depending on my mood. So tonight I'm feeling like Cajun, so I'll put that on tonight's dinner. And as well as the Cajun seasoning, I'm also going to put on some rock salt and some Himalayan salt as well, just for some extra flavour as well. But again, I'll put these on fresh once I've recooked those or reheated those during the week as well. But there you go guys, it is so simple. Like, meal prep doesn't have to be fancy. That is literally just beef, potatoes, veg, and then the seasonings. That's it. Stop complicating meal prep. It doesn't have to be that much, and as I said, it's saved me time and stress for the next few nights as well. So I'm just going to put the seasonings on and then I'll tuck into this. Okay guys, I think this is like meal 5, I think. Like, I don't know if I would call this a meal. It's something I talked about briefly on my Instagram stories when I was actually having this particular meal yesterday. Basically, if you were following me on Instagram during my off season, you will know that there was one particular food that I am obsessed with. This particular food is very high in carbohydrates, so when I was in my off season, this was just a nice, easy, digestible, quick acting carbohydrate food to also hit my carb intake as well. So during my off season, I had a very high carb intake, which was bliss. Basically, in my high day that I had about 2 weeks ago, I didn't include this, and I kind of learnt my lesson to be like, do you know what, it's a nice carbohydrate that it's again a food I love, so I want to try and incorporate it in this particular high day as well. So I did have these yesterday. I haven't had this particular food in about like 2 months. My carbohydrate macros have dropped significantly over the last few weeks. I just had to make a decision to cut them out. But again, I'll be having them in a few months' time when my shows are over, so it's not the end of the world. But I did have them for the first time yesterday in my first high day. for the first time in 2 months, and I recorded my reaction for Instagram, and it was so funny. But I thought I'd do another reaction again because this is probably the final time I'll have them until I get another potential high day. It's very, very hard to know if I'm going to get another high day in the month of August, as my shows are literally the start of September, so, or the beginning of the start of September, so we will see. Without further ado, the infamous food is the Rice Krispie Squares bar. So just for anyone that's actually curious, per bar there's 156 calories. There is 4.7 fat. I won't lie, that is quite relatively high for a chocolate bar, but I suppose like most chocolate bars will have a high fat intake. Carb-wise, 27 grams, but it is worth every single gram. Protein per bar is 1.6, so if you are looking to keep protein low, you know, these bad boys. But I'm basically having 2 of these. This is like a pack of 4. I had 2 yesterday, having 2 today. So literally, thankfully, I'll finish these tonight and then I won't be able to have them tomorrow. So 'cause tomorrow I'm going back to rest day food. We're going to record my reaction again as I have these. So this is like the second last thing I'll have tonight. Even just the smell of them, I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is that makes them so addicting. Like everyone has that, you know, everyone has that particular food. They're like, when they smell that or when they have it, it's just like. And what I want to say, like before I say this as well, just before I actually took into it, is that people, like for anyone that's watching, you need to bear in mind I am doing a contest prep. I know I say that in every single video, but I think people misinterpret to be like, oh, I need to do what Jess is doing, I need to do what Jess is eating in order to achieve the results. I know I said this previously at the start of this video, but I need to say it again because people are so, again, take everything as, oh, Jess needs to eat this or Jess can't have that, so I can't have that. You can have Rice Krispie Squares bars if you are not doing a contest prep or you're doing a photo shoot prep whereby you're probably on very, very low food. If you are looking to follow a sustainable fat loss journey, please keep the foods in that you enjoy. If you don't like Squares bars, that is okay. You don't have to eat them. You might have another food that you particularly like, and it's just a matter of making that work within your macros. Everyone is completely different. As I said before, when I was talking about the pre-workout meal, there's no food more superior than the other. Everything just varies in terms of nutrition content. As I said, this has quite relatively high fat intake, but it doesn't make it any way bad. There's no such thing as good or bad food. Again, I know I repeat myself a lot, but again, I just want to reiterate that point because a lot of people will just think, oh, Jess can't have that, so I can't have that. I'm like, no, I can't have it because I'm doing a photo shoot. I'm doing a competition and I'm a few weeks out. So anyway, here we are. Look at her in all her beauty. You swear this is like a lip gloss and I'm like a beauty blogger being like, oh, look guys. But look at her, she's delicious. So, YouTube, cheers. Oh. I think after my final show, I'll probably just have like 6 or 7 of these. I'd just be happy with that. Like I don't need pizza, I don't need a burger, I just need loads of these. These are just so, so good. Kellogg's, if you're looking for a sponsor, like I could just live off these. I don't know what it is, like I wouldn't have been massive about them like last year, but just I knew when out of my competition last year and I was reverse dieting into my off season, like literally this time last year, I really suffered with seeing my carbohydrate intake go up, and I was like, I can't eat that amount of food. I remember telling Mike, my coach, back in like September, October last year, that the fact that I was like, I can't reach that carbohydrate intake. That is so unrealistic, it's so high. But I'd been used to such low calories for so long that I mentally thought I couldn't do it. And then once I started like increasing my oat intake, increasing, you know, the volumes of the carbohydrate foods that I was having, I knew I was able to achieve it. So for anyone that's kind of like, if you're ever worried about your food going back up after a dieting phase, it is normal to have that fear, but you need to bear in mind, like, you cannot be in dieting phase forever. You cannot cut out the foods that you enjoy because it is not sustainable. So good. Oh. Just very content right now. So yeah, I'm gonna finish the rest of this bar. They're obviously not big enough. I wish it was bigger. That's the only thing I wish. But anyway, at this one I have another one. And then I'll show you my final meal of today's high day, and then I will wrap up this video. So I know I probably look the same in the exact same clip. I literally just took my hair down just to try and look a little bit different. But I've literally done nothing since the last clip. I just watched TV. So guys, this is just the final meal of today's Heidi that I'm going to share. I cannot believe it's the end. It's so sad. But yeah, I'm just going to show you the final meal and wrap up this video. So there's multiple parts of this final meal. So basically the first one is, I don't know if I can show you without spilling it. It is cream of rice yet again. Just something easy to digest, as it is my last meal before I go to bed. So I want to make sure that it is a digestible meal, and cream of rice is a really, really good one as well. So I'm not sure if you can see it here, but you'll see there's a little bit of a lighter colour here as well. So this is cream of rice with almond butter as well. I did put this in the freezer, so I thought it'd be a little bit more solid, but I'll just stick it back in the freezer as well. But yeah, so cream of rice and almond butter is in this final meal. Then I also have 30 grams of dark chocolate. So, because obviously we all know I have a bit of a sweet tooth. But dark chocolate is really great from a fat intake point of view as well. So I think I've shared that on my rest day food as well. But my fats on today's particular high day have been quite high. So hence the dark chocolate as well. Then the final thing I'm actually going to have tonight is something that I brought back into my final meals as well, is this Strom Digest Max, as you will see here, in the flavour of vanilla. So when it comes to digestion, I would have always suffered with my digestion like most of my life, even though my fibre intake is relatively good, as you guys seen, and even on a normal rest day and training day, my fibre intake is quite good as well. But so as I said, I've always suffered with my digestion, but this is a really, really nice supplement, particularly this is kind of ideal in an off season when you are consuming a lot more food, but also as I am in the deeps of my prep as well and digestion isn't going as smoothly as we would like it to. This is a fantastic supplement from Strom Nutrition that I had during my off season, and now I've brought back in as well for these final few weeks of prep, just to again further aid digestion. So there is a million different supplements, guys, if you were struggling with your fibre intake, if you were struggling with it, that you could take. But just for me in particular, this is something that I've had for the last maybe year, and it always agreed with me as well. So I will have a half a scoop of this with water, because I already had half a scoop this morning, and hopefully that will just kind of again further aid my digestion as well, so that when I wake up tomorrow I will be feeling a little bit better as well. So yeah, that is a great product that I do have. And that is all my food for today, guys. I cannot believe we're at the end of another video, but I really do hope that you enjoyed today's high food video. Tomorrow, sadly, I'm going back to rest day food, back to cardio, but look, the job has to be done. We are only a few more weeks out from my 2022 debut, which is mad but very, very exciting as well. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, or make sure that you are subscribing for next week's episode. I have no idea what next week's episode will be about, but I'll try and do something similar like this video, where it is a bit mixture of different things as well. So if you guys have any suggestions on what you would like to see, please do let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more training clips, if you have certain questions about my prep or anything like that as well, even with coaching, please do let me know as well. And if you have been enjoying the person, I suppose, that I come across online, as I always say to any clients, the person that you get online is the exact same person you get as a coach. So if you are potentially interested in working with me in a one-on-one online coaching capacity, there is a link down in the description notes if you did want to inquire about my coaching services as well. I will see you all in the next video.